Welcome back. Right now, we take you out to Washington, D.C., where we have Kristy Moore on the show today. She is a best-selling author, and she is also the founder and principal broker of Local Expert Realty. Please welcome back to the show, Miss Kristy Moore. Hi, Kristy. So great to have you.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So I understand today we're going to talk about the topic of radon, and I know that it comes up quite a bit for you. So hopefully we can kind of get some of these questions answered that maybe you see quite a bit. But for some of our viewers that might not know, can you just give a little description of what radon is and why it is such an issue in real estate?
Yes, I can definitely explain what it is. Radon is an odorless and colorless and tasteless gas that is generally in your home. It comes from the ground and it comes from the cracks in the foundation. And around here in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area, it's a pretty common problem because of the soil and the fact that we're close to the Potomac River. So most houses in our area, if they haven't been treated for radon already, they do have pretty high levels of radon.
Okay, so it sounds like it might be something that would be very difficult to just detect on your own.
Oh yeah, you can't detect it on your own, and it's actually pretty dangerous. It's the #1 cause of lung cancer for non-smokers, and it's the #2 cause of lung cancer overall. So it is actually a pretty dangerous gas as far as, the chemicals out there. And from the standpoint of being able to detect it, you have to have a special radon test in order to detect the levels of radon in the home. And anything over a 4.0, the EPA recommends that you treat the radon levels in the house. And generally it's in the basement. So a lot of the houses have finished basements. So if you have people staying down there or you spend a lot of time down there, it's really important to make sure that you get it treated if it is a high level in your home.
Definitely, sounds like it. So let's say you're in a contract. How does radon affect the contract, and what are the options for people to really protect themselves?
Well, radon in Virginia is something that the sellers have to disclose if they know about it. Even though Virginia is a buyer beware state, that is one thing that a seller does have to disclose if they know that they have high levels of radon in their house.
Okay.
And in Maryland, they're required to test for it. And in DC, the buyer would have to make it a contingency in the contract. It's not a required testing. Same with Virginia. If the seller doesn't know if there are high levels of radon in the house, the buyer really should put in a radon contingency so that they can test for the radon levels. It's a 2-day test as far as how long it takes to get the results back.
Yep.
And it's really important for people to know if the radon levels are high or not. I'm really surprised when I talk to sellers and they didn't have the radon tested when they bought the house. Yeah. So it is a common problem, and even though it's been around for a long time, it's not something that a lot of sellers have had tested or have treated. So it's really important to make sure you put that contingency in the contract.
Okay, and it sounds like things can kind of vary a little bit depending on where you're located in that DC metro area, like you said, Maryland, Virginia, or right there in DC. But what is the buyer's option then if a radon test comes in high?
Well, the buyer's option is that they can either void the contract or they can ask the seller to remediate the radon, and then the seller has the option to either not agree to remediate or to remediate the radon. And if they don't agree to it, then the buyer still has the option of backing out of the deal, or they can take care of it themselves after the fact if they want to. And in new construction, most builders are not allowing radon tests in their contracts. So they have to make sure that they test for it after they move into the property. They can get an at-home test kit at like a Home Depot or a Lowe's or something like that and make sure that the levels of radon aren't too high. And a lot of builders also will put in the pipe for them to hook up later. It just depends, but it's really important that they know what their options are, especially with the new construction contracts, since they are pretty one-sided to the builder.
Right, right. And just finally, I just wanted to ask you, so let's say you do want to go ahead and fix the issue. How do you do that?
So the way that radon is fixed is that they put a pipe into the ground and then it goes outside the house with a fan that puts the radon outside of the house. And it all depends on the type of property and if there's a sump pump and the concrete and things like that. So the remediation can cost anywhere from $850 to $1,500. So in the grand scheme of things, it's a pretty low cost thing to fix for the potential detriment that it could cause.
Absolutely. Well, Kristy, thank you so much for coming on and really giving us kind of just really like in a nutshell, everything that radon is and what that really means when it's affecting real estate for both the buyer and the seller. So thank you for coming on. It's great to talk with you.
Thank you so much.
All right, best-selling author and founder principal broker of Local Expert Realty, Kristy Moore. We'll be right back.